jurors exactly what a life sentence meant. And then less than 2 hours after that, the jurors came back, and they had a note in their hands, folks, and that note said they couldn't reach a unanimous decision. More than they did say it was their final choice, just said they're struggling. So the judge made suggestions and instructed them to continue. Now we wait, and at the courthouse, they're waiting. There's a sea of TV cameras and reporters, media across the country, people gathering, and a decision can come at any moment. So let's bring in Excellent Mike Galanos, also Chief of Sark there, out there in Arizona. So I want to start with you. What happens if they don't come to a unanimous decision?
If they're split and they say we cannot render a unanimous decision, be it life or death, the judge might read them another instruction, encouraging them to continue to deliberate, not forcing them to render. You can't correct them at all, but just I've seen this type of instruction give a second time. On the other hand, if the jury says, look, this is it, we cannot form a unanimous decision, the judge then would declare a mistrial, only for the penalty phase of this case. The first-degree premeditated felony murder verdict would stand, the aggravating factor of cruelty would stand, a brand new jury in time would be impaneled for this penalty phase only. But since you incorporate the first-degree murder verdict and you incorporate the extreme cruelty aggravator into this phase, this brand new jury would have to have knowledge of the facts of the case and the knowledge of what amounts to extreme cruelty. So I think it would be a very long penalty phase because you're literally starting from the beginning.
Absolutely, and I can't imagine what that would be like and how you actually proceed with that. So it creates a very interesting situation. Now, Mike, talk to us about the difference that you saw today between Jodi Arias in the courtroom and the Alexander family in the courtroom, especially when they got this news.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off that point that Gene makes, and you as well, Brian, about the length of this. Imagine Travis Alexander's family, and let's take it back to last Thursday. They had waited almost 5 years to speak, to tell their story, and in essence, repaint the image of their brother. It took such courage and strength to do that, fighting through the tears, to say what they had to say last Thursday. Verdict. We know they've gone through that. And now, to think, and you saw that the emotions, they walked right by me here, Ryan. I think you and I were speaking a little bit earlier today, and it seemed that there may have been a confidence. They walked in there thinking they're going to get a jury question, and then when they find out this jury cannot come to a unanimous decision, the emotions begin to well up, and the tears began to fall, especially from Samantha, who spoke last Thursday.
Yeah, I can't imagine how hard it must be for them, thinking justice is coming and having that feeling that it may not come. So, Gene, at this point, what's happening in the courtroom? Where's Jodi? Where's Travis's family?
Well, I just came down from the 5th floor of the courthouse, and the family is nowhere in sight, and they aren't going to stand out in the hall. There is the room that they can wait in. They may be close to the courthouse. We have not seen Jodi Arias' family at all today. Jodi, she has to still be at the courthouse. She's in a holding cell, just waiting for anything to come. But the anticipation on that floor is building because on the one sense, I mean, they're still deliberating. So that means they could render a verdict. They could find unanimously for life or for death. On the other hand, they're an hour and a half from quitting today. They always quit at 4:30 local time. So will something happen in this hour and a half?
Yeah, and Mike, the other thing I'm thinking of is they walk back in there and they say we can't come to a decision. I don't know what the judge does at that point. It's tough to send them back, especially when they have the option of saying we can't reach a decision.
You know, and you got to think, Ryan, and I'm sure you thought this as well. I mean, is there some fatigue setting in here? We've talked about Jodi fatigue. I mean, we're just getting over New Year's when this trial began January 2nd. Here we are, and we're still going. And there could be factions in that jury room digging in their heels. I mean, how much fight do they have in them to see this thing through to the end?
Yeah. You know, and Gene, this makes me think back. When you look at something like this, death penalty cases, I think a lot of people get a sense of, well, it looks like death to me, so I would make that decision. But when you're in that jury room, it sets up a totally different construct. And Jennifer Wilmot played on this a little bit, that you may be the one who is ending Jodi Arias' life.
Right, and the mitigating factor, they must find that it is sufficiently substantial to warrant her life, warrant her to live. You know, I remember when the jury was deliberating the guilt phase, and I watched the jurors as they came out and they went back into the room. I don't think they were on the same page all the time. Remember, there was first degree, second degree, and manslaughter. I saw some women that were just so defiant. It was like they were fighting inside that deliberation room. Well, somebody went over to the side of